The Olympique Lyon situation has got extremely bad in France. I mean, this is one of the biggest clubs in the country getting relegated due to financial mismanagement by the board. I mean, this club won 7 consecutive League One titles in the 2000s, and most recently, they got to the Champions League semi final in 1920. So, this isn't just any old club, this is one of France's biggest. So the fact that they've got relegated in France, it's an insane story if you think about it. I mean, imagine getting relegated not due to the players on the pitch, not due to the manager, but due to financial mismanagement by the board. I mean, they accumulated massive debts, and the DNCG, the financial watchdog overseeing the French football clubs, have deemed their financial situation to be so bad that they had to be relegated to League Two. I mean, there was warnings in November. They did issue a provisional relegation, telling them they need to come up with more funds. So they had plenty of time to get these funds back into the club. But I suppose they're probably hoping that the Europa League would have been a chance to bring those funds back into the club, more revenue, more games. But then they got knocked out by Manchester United in the quarterfinals, so that kind of went out the window. Um, and since that relegation, they did try to balance the books by selling plenty of first team players. You've seen Said Benrahma, Anthony Lopez, Kakare, Ryan Cherky. They've all left the club, and these were big players for them. And despite these sales, the DNCG still weren't convinced that they had the funds enough to stay in the league, and so the decision has since been upheld. I mean, even their owner, John Texter, in November, he said there was no chance they would get relegated. He said it couldn't get any worse than this,
It can.
but clearly, as we see here, the financial realities have proved otherwise. I mean, Texter, who was a shareholder in Crystal Palace, has since sold his shares to Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets in the NFL. So I suppose that's going to be his way of showing, look, I've got more funds. I've just sold my shares in another club. I've got more money. So that will probably be the basis of their appeal. And for Crystal Palace fans, this situation is probably they're probably the only ones celebrating this besides maybe the rivals in League One. Because there was a situation where both teams were in the Europa League due to Palace winning the FA Cup. And because of multi club ownership, Palace might have had to drop down to the Conference League. But now it seems Palace have kind of got the upper hand here because Leon will be relegated to League Two, and based on the ownership rules, the club with the higher seeding usually gets the higher European place. So if Leon do actually stay relegated, there will be no concerns for Crystal Palace when it comes to European football. But yeah, Leon, they finished sixth in League One last season, which put them in the Europa League. I mean, imagine being a fan. I don't know what I'd think if this happened to my club. I mean, if we just go into this statement by Leon, they said that they are going to appeal this situation. They said they work closely, and of course, the Crystal Palace sale more cash into the club. So they, by their statement, they feel confident that they will be reinstated into League One and they won't be relegated. And yeah, of course, Crystal Palace fans are probably celebrating in masses at the moment, but it could still end up being that they might have to drop down to the Conference League. But I suppose John Texter selling his shares means that that situation is no longer there. Um, but yeah, the French league has just been mental over the past few years. I mean, 2017-18, Lyon relegated, they came third. Bordeaux are now in the fourth tier after financial collapse. Saint Etienne, which are actually France's second most successful team, relegated this season after finishing bottom. So, I mean, the French league has just gone absolutely insane the last few years. I mean, this situation in France might spark some conversation about PSG's dominance. I mean, if PSG weren't so dominant at winning the league pretty much 95% of the time, maybe clubs like Lyon, Bordeaux, they'd finish higher in the table. Maybe they'd win a few more trophies and then they'll have more money. So the fact that PSG are dominating the league so badly, maybe that plays a factor in the cash flow of these clubs. And so this decision could serve as a warning to other clubs, and it might even influence stricter enforcement across the league. So it'll be interesting to see how League One's competitive balance changes over the next few years. How this situation maybe makes other clubs, other owners look up and think, okay, let's not get ourselves into a situation like this. I mean, just think of the fans. Like now, Leon fans, they thought that they secured their place in Europe. They thought another season in Europe, more away days. But now they face uncertainty. They don't even know what league they're going to be playing in next year at the moment. I mean, and even then, if the appeal could store their League One status, if it doesn't, I mean, that could mean they stay in League Two for a long period of time. I mean, if you think about it, it just means that their squad is just going to get absolutely raided. I mean, players like Malik Fofana are already subjecting interest from clubs across England and Europe. And so they're just going to get raided. All their players are just going to get taken. I mean, when you're playing at a club like Leon, are you really going to stick around and play in League Two? I mean, it's up in the air right now. I mean, the situation got so bad that even Leon in I mean, it's been a long running story. Leon have had issues with money for years. I mean, back in 2023, 24, John Texter sold a big portion of the shares to Michelle Kang of the Leon's women's team. And so she owns like 52% or something, and Leon only owned less than half of their winning team, or women's team, I should say. I mean, winning team, they are probably more successful than Leon themselves, so winning team makes more sense. But yeah, look, this is a historic club. But yeah, I did say Palace might be the only team that are celebrating, but Stade Reims could be reinstated back into League One. They were relegated through the relegation playoffs. So if Leon do go down, Reims could stay up. And so that is another story that's coming out of this. But oh, I don't know. This situation is scary for Leon fans. And I'm not sure how I'd feel if this was my club. But yeah, just coming back to this, 500 million euros in debt. That is, I don't even know how to react to that. How can you get to this point where a club such as Lyon, a historical European club, I mean, when you think of French football, PSG, Marseille, Lyon, they're probably the big three that you think of. You'll probably include Monaco in there somewhere. But like, this is one of the biggest clubs in France. I mean, if you were to compare Lyon to a Premier League club, you'd probably say they're probably the French version of Arsenal. That's kind of their status within France. So yeah, this situation is it's incredibly sad. I mean, over the next few weeks, we are going to find out exactly what's going to happen with this situation. Leon may have to do like a fire sale of their players, selling players for like 50% of their value. Clubs across Europe are going to be floundering around like vultures, picking off players from them. I mean, they might put the money in to stay in League One, but will they have the players to be able to compete across the Europa League, across the league? Maybe they even get relegated next season through performance wise. I mean, it's an insane situation, and I mean, French football is looking scary at the moment for clubs.